the Honorable Odinga, and Jubilee, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, to immediately, right now, respond to that perception that both of you are indeed leading tribes or blocks of tribes, and specifically against each other. Starting with Honorable Uhuru.
Thank you very much. Let me say this. Our Jubilee platform is a platform that has been built on issues. If you have followed and listened to the speeches that we have made with my running mate, the Honorable William Ruto, throughout the country, we have emphasized the need for us to be able to focus on the real issues that affect our people: unemployment, poverty, the social infrastructure, the need for us to be able to pull together as Kenyans, the need for us to be able to be united and understanding that the best way to deal with our problems is not for leaders to be pulling apart, but working together. Despite our own personal differences, we need to pull together. Now, it is indeed true that numbers are being bandied around. But those numbers, if you look, are largely also being bandied around by the political analysts who are out there. Just as there's language that is also...
But would you admit, Honorable Kenyatta, that your campaign revolves around the Kikuyu and Kalenjin communities?
I would completely disagree. If you would look at where we have had all our rallies so far, I have not had a single rally yet in Central Province since I was nominated. We have been campaigning in the Coast Province. We have been campaigning up in Meru. We were in Rift Valley the other day. We're moving on to Lower Eastern, where we intend to be. So we've been up to Kuria. So we are actually conducting a national campaign, a campaign that is aimed at bringing all Kenyans together with a purpose of forming a government that will be all-inclusive and that will deal with the real issues that face common wananchi in this
country. Kenyans together, Honorable Kenyatta, and when you were in Meru last month, when you asked a certain region not to divide their vote, what do you mean?
Well, what I am saying is, if we understand and we are moving on the same platform, we saw a situation where, for example, you have a number of candidates in a particular constituency, all saying they support the same presidential candidate, but yet they are on different platforms. And I said, if we really want to implement the agenda that we have, given our new constitution, given the strength and the powers that have been given to Parliament, if we don't have the necessary numbers in Parliament to implement our agenda, it is going to make it difficult. So I was saying, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 candidates claiming to support me, then I say, then we need to be in one party so that we can implement the agenda and the promises that we're making in Parliament.
We'll come back to you, the Honorable Kenyatta. Let me go to Honorable Odinga. And I want to take you back to 2002, 2005, 2007, and now. Your politics revolve around building or getting appointment from tribes. I'm talking about a summit, 2002. I'm talking about the Orange campaign against the new constitution in 2007. I'm also talking about the Pentagon in 2007. And now lately, you talk of a triangle, all made up of appointment from regions. Isn't this tribalism, Mr. Odinga?
First, Kenyans must come from certain regions. They cannot be invented from the moon. So people come together for a particular purpose. Like now you have got CORD. It's a coalition of the willing. People who have come together because of certain values that they share together. In 2002, that was the 3rd time that the opposition was going for an election. Remember, we lost in 92. We lost also again in 97. So in 2002, we decided to come together and rally behind one person. That's why I said Kibaki Tosha. That was to unite the people of Kenya, to unite the people. Said the Luos could not vote for Kibaki because it was a Kikuyu, and no Luo can vote for a Kikuyu. I said, Kikuyus are Kenyans, and there was never a war between Luos and Kikuyus. And I managed to campaign for Kibaki, that Kibaki got majority of votes. You need to know that James Orengo, a Luo, was also a presidential candidate in 1992.
That was 2002. That was 2002, Honorable Odinga. Yes. But isn't it true that in the 2005 and 2000 votes, your mathematics was a simple 41 minus 42 minus 1. And you know what I mean?
That is a creation of the media. Nowhere did anybody talk about 41 versus 1. That was actually a propaganda. We talked of uniting all the people of Kenya, and we were running against an incumbent who happened to come from one particular community. But ODM was basically a national movement which brought in the communities from all over the country, like CORD today. CORD is a national movement which has brought Kenyans of all walks of life, different communities. And we have never talked about ethnicity. It is our opponents who are being ethnic figures to try to intimidate the other communities by saying that, oh, this election has already been won because the candidate and his running mate come from this community and so many are the votes which are registered in this community. We are saying that basically misses the point. The point is that every Kenyan matter, whether it's an El Molo, the smallest tribe, or a Kikuyu, the biggest tribe. Let us work together to unite the people of this country. This is what CORD stands for. One Kenya, one nation, for all.
And I'm going to the rest of the candidates now, but before I go there, still it on from where your fathers left it. Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, both of you picking it up from 69. Uhuru.
Kenya has come a long way since then. And I want to remind those Kenyans who maybe have that feeling that they just need to look back into recent history. You know, as late as 1997, we were together with the Honorable Raila in the Kanu government. And we campaigned together until the time of Kasarani. We parted ways and he went to support Mwai Kibaki. Soon thereafter, the 2005 referendum, again, we campaigned on the same platform and he led the No campaign for the Constitution at the time. And I supported him and campaigned throughout the country. So personally, I have no differences with the Honorable Raila. I see him as a colleague, I see him as a brother, but we may differ on how to handle some of the issues that face this country. And I think that is why we have elections, so that the people of Kenya are given an opportunity to choose between the candidates.
Honorable Odinga.
No, I basically agree totally with my brother, Uhuru Kenyatta. We have nothing personal between each one of us. In fact, we are best of friends. And you remember, if you go down the memory lane, my father spearheaded the struggle for release of Jomo Kenyatta from prison. He was a Luo, Kenyatta was a Kikuyu, but they were united. In 2002, I said Kibaki Tosha. Kibaki was a Kikuyu, but I said Kikuyus are Kenyans. So we managed to unite the people behind him. We disagreed on the issue of MOU and on the Constitution. And on that issue of the Constitution, me and my brother Uhuru Kenyatta were on the same side. We campaigned for a no, and that's where the orange was born against the banana. But now we want to see that Kenyans make an informed choice on basis of policies. Jubilee has got a policy document. CORD has got a policy document.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Odinga. And I want to bring in the rest of the candidates now on this issue of ethnicity, particularly what is emerging tonight, and generally that greater responsibilities lies with CORD and Jubilee on the question of ethnicity. And I want to bring in Martha Karua.
In terms of Articles 91. So that is what we subscribe for, and the challenge is in implementing Articles 91, 92 and the Political Parties Act. But that has not been done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And in preparing you for the next session, which is just about to begin, quick 30 seconds. Yes, Dida?
Yeah, I read in the newspaper, when a society will go for, I don't know whether I can mention the names. I just caught. When a society goes for Waititu and not Jimna, then there is a problem. Now, when somebody started a team of 5, and today 4 are now opposing, and you are alone, is there social democracy in that system? You know, there are some things that are theoretical, but practically we can see this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that is for party leaders to take that question. I want to come to the final question which is a security question.